Hey guys, it's Mackenzie and today I am back with a new video. A while ago, I posted a video of how I got into law school with a low LSAT and a low GPA. That video had some positive comments and it had some not so positive comments. Today, I decided that I was gonna remake that video and provide a little bit more context about what I'm talking about and answering some of your guys' questions. If you guys are new here, my name is Mackenzie. I am now with 3L, which is absolutely crazy. I make content here on YouTube about my life in law school. So if that's something you guys are interested in, don't forget to give this video a like, make sure to subscribe down below. Also, I want to know how you guys are doing. I've gotten comments on my video in the past about how you guys are studying for the LSAT, you're applying for law schools. How is that going? Let me know down below in the comments. Are you applying for law school? How's that going? I don't ever want you guys to feel alone in this process because you're not. Just know I'm always here. I'm so excited for you guys. I'm truly in your corner and I'm rooting for you. Please keep me in the loop. Always let me know how things are going for you guys. The goal of this video is to give you guys a peace of mind that if you do have a low LSAT score, you still have the opportunity to get into law school. Low LSAT is a mindset. Like, to me, a 150 is low. To you, maybe a 165 is low. It all depends on you. I didn't want to go to a top 14 school, so it didn't bother me that my LSAT score was where it was. And that's why I didn't take it again, because I figured I would just apply, and if I got in, great. If I didn't, then I would retake it and take the July exam. What might seem like a low LSAT score to you could seem like a high LSAT score to me or to somebody else. Your LSAT score does not matter outside of applying for law school. It does not define you. It does not mean anything once you're accepted into law school. Without further ado, let's just get into the video. I just want to go through the steps of the application and talk about it that way. Obviously, the first step is your LSAT. The LSAT is the law school admissions test. Chances are you probably know what that is. If you don't, it's a test that consists of, I'm kind of out of the loop now because I haven't taken it in a while. It used to be 3 subjects. I think it was 3 subjects. During the exam, one of those subjects was tested twice and one of your scores didn't count, but you didn't know which one counted and which one didn't, and they just, I think, used that for like research for future exams, maybe. You take that and the score you get ranges anywhere from 130 to 180, maybe, I think is what it is. Your LSAT score is a huge deal. It is arguably the main component of your application, but I'm here to tell you that you can still get into law school with a lower LSAT score. I want to preface this by saying you can be an amazing attorney and you can be amazing in law school and have a low LSAT. I have never told you guys my LSAT score. I was very, I hate to use the word embarrassed because I wasn't, because I'm in law school, so it doesn't really matter. After you get into law school, your LSAT score literally does not matter. Drum roll, please. I got a 150, which, if you know anything about the LSAT, is a fairly low score. I'm here to tell you that I got into a law school that is ranked in the top 100 law schools. It's a little bit higher than that, but for that particular exam, I want to say that was the average. And I want to say my GPA wasn't low at all in terms of school, but when applying to law schools, it was considered a little low. I want to say it was like 3.4, maybe, something like that. Fairly low for law school applications, but honestly above average for undergraduate degrees in general. Me telling you my LSAT score, my GPA, probably means nothing to you. I'm gonna go through my law school classes statistics with you guys. I do have the median for both. I don't have the 25th percentile or the 75th percentile, but I have a good idea that I remember. For my entering class at my law school, the median LSAT was a 160, which meant the average of all the LSATs was a 160, so 10 above mine. The 25th percentile, maybe like a 165. It was around there, and the 75th percentile was like a 155. Maybe like a 157, I think, actually. My LSAT for my school was very low, very low. The median GPA was a 3.7. I do think that I fit into the 75th percentile GPA. I want to say it was a little bit lower than mine. and the 25th percentile was maybe like a 3.9, maybe 3.8. I was well below the stats for the LSAT, and I was pretty on par, a little bit lower than the average for my GPA. Statistically speaking, I should not have gotten into law school where I am. There's a cool gadget on the LSAC website, which is the Law School Admissions Council website. You can actually check your statistics on getting into the law schools of your choice. So I went in and you type in your GPA, you type in your LSAT score, and you like select the schools that you want, I believe, and then it will tell you, statistically speaking, how likely are you to get into this law school. Don't take it to heart. Just because it says you're statistically not likely to get into that law school does not mean that you will not get into that law school. That's all there is to the LSAT and the GPA. There's nothing more to it. You have to have a GPA from undergrad and you have to have an LSAT score. Next, let's talk about letters of recommendation. Letters of recommendation are very important in your law school application as well. There are a certain amount of letters of recommendation that you can submit through LSAC whenever you are applying for law school. My school had a rule that you had to have at least one professor. So I think I had one of my psychology professors write my letter of recommendation that needed to come from a professor. For my other letters, I chose to have some of the attorneys that I work for write me letters of recommendation. Most of the attorneys were graduates from the specific school that I attend. I know that's not going to work for everybody. Some people are just not going to go to school where they currently work. And while I think it's great to have someone in the legal field write you some letters of recommendation, your boss from anywhere is great. The thing that I thought was most beneficial is that they know your work ethic. They know how hard you're going to work, and they can attest to that in your letter. They can tell the admissions council how confident they are that you're going to succeed. It's even better if they can find a way to tie it into law school. That was what was great about some attorneys writing some letters for me, was because they were able to relate the work that I do now and how that was going to impact me in law school and how beneficial that would be for me in law school and in the practice once I graduate. Don't ask a bunch of people that don't really know you. If they can attest to how good your work ethic is, they'll make a fantastic letter of recommendation. Now on to everybody's probably least favorite part about the law school application, your personal statement. So your personal statement, again, is just so important, but in a different way. Since I did have a lower LSAT and a lower GPA, I was able to make up for that in my personal statement. I was able to subtly explain without saying my LSAT was bad because. You don't want to say that. You want to subtly tell them some reasons that maybe your grades are a little lower, or maybe your LSAT wasn't as good for whatever reason. But for my personal statement, I wrote about graduating debt-free. I worked my butt off in undergrad and I graduated debt-free. That was a huge accomplishment for me because I didn't come from money growing up, and so I was able to kind of explain that and how I worked full-time. I was able to subtly explain maybe why my grades might not have been as good because I was working full-time as a college student, taking full-time classes. And again, I didn't flat out say that, but they can infer from your writing that, she's working full-time and taking 15 credit hours. That's a lot. Maybe that's why her grades not as great. Or maybe she didn't have as much time to study for the LSAT. I think it's beneficial if you include some sort of real life experience of yours where you had to overcome an obstacle. Maybe you didn't make a team in high school, so you worked really hard at that skill and you went back the next year or 2 years later or 3 years later and you made the team. Maybe you had more obstacles in your childhood than most kids and you had to get over that, but you are who you are today because of it and you were able to work through that. So I'm just saying from personal experience that I included something in that realm of something I had to climb over, and I got to the other side of it. Your personal statement honestly is so important, and you want to detail it for each law school. I know it kind of sounds like a pain if you're just applying to a bunch of law schools, but trust me, if you make it more personalized, like maybe include the name of the building, like the name of the law school building in there. Maybe include something about the town that you just love and something's real, like what's really drawing you to that university. There's so many things that you can include in there that are personalized where that they're gonna pick that up. They're gonna pick up the fact that you personalized this personal statement and you didn't just have a generic one that you submitted to all of the law schools, because that's not gonna look as good. That's the 3 main components of your law school application. resume. So I'm not sure if every law school requires a resume or not, but mine did. So whenever I submitted my resume, obviously make it just like any other resume, have some people look at it, make sure it's good. But I did include in my personal statement that I was working full-time, so I wanted to reflect my hours on my resume. So I, like in parentheses, had put like my average hours that I was working for that job during that period of time. At that point, I was working 2 separate jobs and I was working full-time hours between the 2 of them, so I incorporated that into my resume. Other than that, though, it was a standard resume. I didn't do anything super fancy. Again, I think if you guys have the opportunity to work for a law firm, that does wonders for you. Working at a law firm, I think, is what really set me over the edge because I knew this stuff. I didn't know all of the stuff that they're going to teach you, but I knew the basics. If you haven't seen my other video about this, I will walk you guys through what I did. So I can't remember whenever I took my first LSAT, but like I said, I canceled that score. I don't even remember what it was. I just remember it was so low. And I canceled it because I did not want that on my record. And then I decided to take the November LSAT. I found out my score in December, which again, like I said, was a 150. And I was originally not happy with that score and I was gonna wait. Law school applications open around September and they close typically around March. I was only interested in one law school. In my head, I just thought it was wasting time and money applying, so I didn't. I waited. And I was gonna wait until the following year and I was gonna take the March LSAT and I was gonna apply in September right when they opened. I had already had my letters of recommendation. I had asked everybody earlier just in case I ever wanted to apply because those just sit in your file until you're ready to apply. So I already had all my letters of recommendation and I have this LSAT score. I debated on just throwing my application in because I figured why not? But then I talked myself out of it. I was just like, no, I'll wait, I'll work for a year, whatever. Then in March, literally the day before applications were due, I was at a Bible study with some people and this one girl and I were talking. I was telling her my concerns about applying. She had just been accepted into vet school at that time. And she was like, you just need to do it. She was like, that's what I did. I waited and waited and waited and then just decided to apply and she's like, I got in. She's like, you just need to do it, get it over with. Just try. What's the harm in trying? It's not like it stays on your record and it's this negative thing like, oh, she applied last year and didn't get in. It's like, okay. So the day before these applications were due is when I decided to get my stuff together. I did not have a personal statement at the time, so I called my friend who was already in law school and I was like, can you please help me with this? Like, I don't even know what to write. So she gave me just like kind of what I told you guys, just like some tips on some things you should add. And I did it. She stayed up with me until like 12 o'clock in the morning, maybe even 1 o'clock in the morning. When she had class the next day, she stayed up with me and she proofread my paper. We got that done and I just said, screw it, and I submitted it. I heard back like 6 weeks later, towards the end of April, I heard back and they said, we'd love to offer you a spot on our wait list, which I was so excited about, you guys, because I had heard that some people get waitlisted and then they get accepted. I was stoked because I thought there was no way. I thought they were gonna look at my application and throw it out and just not even give it a second thought, but they didn't. They put me on the wait list. I was so excited. I was so excited, you guys. I accepted my spot on the wait list and life was good. They said, honestly, it could be like the week before classes. And then that's when you could know. So I was sitting on the edge of my seat. I actually went into the law school and I talked to the law school admissions guy. I don't really know what his exact title is. He was so nice. I just was asking him about the waitlist process and stuff like that. And I reiterated to him, you are the only school I've applied to. You guys are the only place I want to go. I'm not going anywhere else. I'm going here. And he was like, okay, that's perfect. So I waited a few months. And then a week before my birthday, I happened to look down at my phone and I just had a random voicemail. My phone never rang or anything. And I listened to the voicemail and he was like, hi, this is so-and-so from the law school. He's like, so sorry for the wait, but I would like to formally offer you a seat for the cohort of 2025. I ran into the conference room and I called my husband and I was like, you're never gonna believe it. I just got into law school. This is actually insane. He was super excited. So I called my mom, my dad, grandparents, my in-laws, called everybody. I was so excited. And then I ran down the hallway and I was jumping up and down, telling everyone I got into law school, and it was so exciting. If I could give you guys any tips, it's don't wait until the last second to apply, because I missed out on a lot of scholarships. Not saying that I would have gotten in and not been waitlisted had I applied earlier. I very well could have gotten waitlisted, but I most likely would have gotten a scholarship. No matter what, I most likely would have gotten a scholarship. And that eats at me to this day. The scholarship deadline was in January, like January 15th, and I didn't apply until the beginning of March. So do not wait until the last second to apply. Apply whenever you can. Try and get some experience. Always, always, always personalize your personal statements for the law schools that you are applying to. I promise that that's also going to set you apart from other people. Okay, so that was my updated video for you guys. I hope this was a little bit more helpful than the last one. I hope this pleased you guys more and that you guys were able to actually get something out of this. Like I said, comment down below, let me know where you guys are in the process. Always keep me updated on how things are going. I want to see you guys succeed. I'm so excited for you guys to experience this, and I just know you guys are going to do great things. Again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Comment down below and let me know how things are going with you guys. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.